Hey guys. So one of the things that we're doing this week is using this egg drop interactive from the physics classroom. So I wanted to just show you a little bit about how to use it and how to interpret it. I thought that might help a little bit with your assignment. So there's a link to this interactive in your assignment on Google Classroom. If you click on it, it'll take you here. I like to expand this just because I feel like it makes it easier. Um, to see all the options and stuff. So, what it does, this lets you experiment with different factors in the impulse momentum theorem. So, just as a reminder, the impulse momentum theorem relates impulse to the change in momentum. And the biggest thing that you should take away from this theorem, I think, is this inverse relationship between the force on an object and the time of impact. So basically, if you stretch out that collision longer and longer, the force that the object experiences is smaller. If you make that collision happen super fast, then this force gets very big. Um, and then you can also see that the force increases as the mass of the object increases, and it increases as the change in velocity increases. So I'm going to talk about how you affect these different factors in the egg drop experiment. So if I go back to my simulation, you can see I've got a bunch of different options for things to change. So the first one is egg size. That is affecting the mass in the impulse momentum theorem. So the small egg has a small mass. I think it's 0.04 kilograms. The large egg has a mass of 0.06, so it's a little bigger. And the jumbo is, I think, 0.08. So this is in the direction of increasing mass, which should increase the force. And then the drop height, well, where is their drop height in that equation? Oh, it's not there. But if you think about it, if you drop something from a higher height, what do you know about the speed that it has reached by the time it hits the ground? Well, if you drop it from a higher height, it has a longer falling time and it's going to speed up more. So what this is affecting is that delta V. Basically, the bigger the drop height, the larger the change in velocity when it hits the ground. Okay, and then the last one is the landing surface. So what this is doing, if it hits the hard floor, basically it has to slow down immediately because there's no give in the floor. So that makes that time of collision very, very small. If you change to the 1 inch foam, well, now that foam can compress a little bit. So you get a little bit longer time for that impact to occur. And then for the foam box, you get the most prolonged collision time. So this slows down the egg even more. So let's see how the type of surface affects the force that's on the egg. So remember, if we want to look at just the effect of the landing surface, scientific method, we're going to just change this variable. So we're going to keep it, we're going to keep everything set at the small egg and 1 meter drop height. And then we're going to test the three surfaces. So I'm starting out with the hard floor. And if I drop an egg from 1 meter onto a hard floor, it breaks. And if you look, the time of the collision is 0.004 seconds. The velocity change is 4.4 meters per second. And the force that it feels is 44 newtons. So you might want to write that down or just keep it in mind. So now we're going to see what happens when we change to the 1 inch foam. So if we run this trial again, you see that the surface looks different. Well, now it didn't smash. So notice that that time is 10 times bigger than it was with the hard surface. And consequently, the force is 10 times smaller. because it's inversely related to the time. So now the egg is safe. It doesn't break. Okay. So if I change it now to the foam box and I drop the egg, again, you can see that it's safe. And now notice that the time of collision is even bigger. With the 1-inch foam, it was 0.04 seconds. With the foam box, it's 0.08 seconds. So it takes twice as long for the egg to come to a stop with the foam box. And notice that the force is consequently half as much as it was with the 1-inch foam. So you can test out each of these one at a time. If you want to see the effect of the egg size, you're going to set something, some settings on the drop height and the landing surface, and then you're going to keep those constant, and you're going to change just the egg size and run the simulation for each of those and compare the force. And then if you similarly wanted to see the effect of the drop height, you would change each of these in turn and test them. Okay, I hope that helps you make sense of this. When you're answering the egg drop activity, you're probably going to want to have this simulation open so that you can run it at the same time. Hope that helps. Good luck.